Boop. Let's wait for that to stabilize just a little bit. Anything you say in the first couple seconds doesn't really count. That's the rules of Twitch stream. That's the rules. That's how it goes. That's what you get away with. How's it everybody doing? How's your Wednesday? I hope it's good. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am. And why does my volume seem loud? Why does my volume seem loud? All right. We'll edge it off just a little bit. All right, we're still interlaced. I do actually have a fix for it. I can de-interlace, but it makes everything soft. So you get to choose. Well, you don't get to choose. You don't actually get to choose. I get to choose. I get to choose between soft and interlaced. And I'm sticking with interlaced purely kind of out of like self-hatred and spite and an expression of my anger over happenstance, really, is what it comes down to. Like, the thing that I am angry at is coincidence with my camera breaking. It's pure coincidence, but I feel responsible in some completely illogical way, and so that makes me angry at myself, and yeah. So I'm just leaving it like this for the time being. My camera, I shipped it off down to California to the repair center yesterday, and it got there today. And my two options, this was great. My two options for shipping, my two speeds, the two speeds available were we'll get it there tomorrow, or we'll get it there when we damn well feel like it. So, yeah, given the choice between the two, I went with, the one that isn't going to leave my camera out of circulation, out of commission for, the foreseeable future. And yeah, that was, they weren't cheap. It's still, I keep telling myself what I keep telling myself is it's cheaper than a new camera, which I might still need to buy anyway, depending on the results. I am terrified. I keep having these like flashes to like, oh, what if? What's going to happen if they come back in the repair and they're just like, no, man, we figured it out. This is all your fault. You did this, so we're not doing anything. And it's unlikely. I mean, they already approved my RMA. I didn't lie on my RMA at all. It's under warranty. It is a warranty related issue. It's gonna be fine. But my imagination, my awful imagination, is just like they're just gonna screw you over. And so because of that, I'm terrified that, like, all right, you spent all this money like shipping it down, and then they're just gonna be like, you got to buy a new one anyway. And yeah, but yeah. We'll see. It should be fine. I should have it back in like 2 weeks. Middle of February. That's not too bad. Everyone was asking about the D20. No, it's just a giant D20. Someone got it for me as a stocking stuffer years ago, and so I've just got it lying around. It's actually a life counter. With how the faces are laid out. I mean, you can still roll it as a 20. It's just not as like purely randomized, because the whole difference is that, like, if you get close to a 20 but not quite, you still get everything bordering 20, like, so everything on like literally half the side of the dice is above 10. And so kind of just rolling anywhere in like this physical area is going to be a likely success. And anything on, so it's a lot closer, really, like just in the way that games work. Rolling it ends up being closer to a coin toss than to an actual randomized result. But you could still roll it. I mean, we've tried. The thing is, there you reach a point where a die is so big and so heavy that it just doesn't roll well anymore. So the 20 and the 1 are still opposite. It's not that things aren't opposite. It's that they're where they're laid out relative to each other. So like 20, so like you see 2016, 19, 16, 19, 13. So these four and like everything around them is a probable success. So really it's more like it ends up being, I said like a coin toss, that it's like, okay, this side up, this half of the die is a success. This half is a failure. So yeah, so it's good for a health counter, because so as a health counter, so it's like, all right, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, like it's always just one flip to get to the next number down. So it's useful. It's useful as a health counter in Magic the Gathering. It's a good shelf thing. Not so great to use at the table. I mean, even if it were properly randomized, it'd still be, for the reasons I already discussed, it'd still be bad to use at the table, because it's so heavy and it takes like so much room to actually roll it. Like once you try, you're like, it just kind of thuds across the table. It's like, maybe don't use the one that's the size of a peach. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just, sorry. I just realized what it took me a second to process that it's good for censoring games, naughtier bits. And yeah. Yeah. So this week, what we're going to be doing, we're not going to be doing an Amy playthrough. We're going to be doing a sort of evaluation and commentary of Dante's Inferno as a speed run. So a little bit of a preamble to this. We're looking for a second speed run to add, and this is a potential player in that the run is not super long. It is still long. It's close to a 2-hour run at the peak. So we're going to evaluate kind of like, okay, well, how long is this going to take to learn what length our run's likely to be during the learning phase? How easily does it break up into segments, and a bunch of other kind of quality of life things. So I've done a little bit of the prep work for this, because there was a few things. So I watched 2 different speed runs, and they're very similar. Both of them are terrible image quality. So the one that we're going to be watching is the slightly slower but slightly better looking better looking one. I hope you enjoy 480p. It's going to, I will probably, it's heavily compressed 480p, and then it's going to be going through Twitch. God only knows what I'm going to, what it's going to look like when it gets to your end. I'm probably going to have to commentate or explain just literally what's happening on moments. But yeah, so I did a little bit of the legwork. So I watched these, and one of the first things I realized is that, so to start off, they're playing on New Game Plus as a default. A bunch of the stuff, like, it just really isn't viable on a new game because actually, a couple of the things kind of are. We'll see. We'll see as we go. But like a lot of it, a lot of just kind of making it fast really relies on having access to like end game magical powers and stuff. Basically, a bunch of the collectibles and spells and things that you get during the game, having those available to speed up fights. And yeah, then there are a couple good glitch moments that are used. So it is a mix of just kind of like, you know, it's like, hey, go fast, and consistent use of certain movement techs and timing things properly and doing a couple fights properly. And then a few glitches. So some of the legwork that I've done is I've gone through my copy of Dante's Inferno and unlocked basically everything that's needed. So I have a saved game prepped if we're gonna do this. And let's go over to Pip. So like I said, I hope you're ready for this quality. So they play on the easiest difficulty. So easiest difficulty, obviously easy. New Game Plus ends up lowering, or ends up giving access to all of this. The first thing that they need to do is change, is they need to equip all of this stuff. So the default spells that are available when you start off on New Game Plus are different than the ones that you are going to be relying on heavily, and you also don't have any artifacts equipped. So that's the first thing that they do there. You want 4 specific artifacts, or relics, I can't remember exactly what they're called. You want 4 specific ones, and you want them to be fully leveled up. That's really not hard. I've already done that legwork. Now, one of the things in this that they'll be doing is they'll be doing that kind of slide jump a lot. And I don't know how to do that. So that would be one of the first things to learn, is how to do that slide jump. One of the downsides of the run, like very few of the cutscenes are skippable. Any of the ones, if you're familiar with the game, any of the animated cutscenes where the camera like goes into Dante's, into his cross, and you get the animated backstory, all of those are skippable. Nothing else is. Oh, also starting on New Game Plus, you skip the entire prologue with where you have to fight death. So it just drops you straight into the actual main body of the game. So there's a good chunk. It's a good chunk shorter, just through that. A lot of the fights come down to, you know, spells, you know, AoEing a lot of stuff. There's a few sections where it seems to me like what's happening is, I think there's a couple moments in the run as a whole where they're managing mana really, really carefully. Because using mana fountains ends up taking a lot of time. Like it's a good like 4 or 5 second animation in order to use one. So you really want to avoid doing that if you can. So you don't quite want to go hog wild. So there's them skipping an animated cutscene, and but then getting into the unskippable other cutscene. No. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't sound like anything on my end either. Like I can't hear any of the dialogue. Not that you really want to. A lot of it's bad. So another fight that gets AoE'd, just kind of burn it down. One of the relics that's equipped is specifically there because it gives Dante passive mana regeneration. So you can watch and he'll just be regaining a decent amount of mana as he's running around, and I believe that still keeps ticking through these game engine cutscenes. So there are segments where it's like, all right, you don't really need to worry about it, but then there's a few later on that it's an issue. There's one of the things that I noticed in my prep play was that there's a bunch of these jumping puzzle moments where you need to be, I don't want to say careful, but they are specifically designed to kind of trip you up. Oh, what's he doing here? Okay, that right there is actually a pretty cool trick. That's not nearly as easy as it looks. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I mean, if you pull this off right, because you got to get the spacing of this is really touchy, but if you get that good, that's actually pretty cool. Where you hop the box over and then just kind of precision edge jump off of it. So that's a neat moment. This is just another fight. The glitches are a known thing. So like you'll see them. Like I don't even know how to pull them off yet. I would need to try. There's one coming up shortly here. This is all actually we can play back speed. We can go through at double speed here. So this because this fight you just do this as per the game. You jump on the beast, you pull Acheron's head off, throw it. Like this is all. Let's go faster. This is just the game. This is just you just play it. You just play. Just play. So like that moment right there, actually, that hop, a lot of these little moments are a lot of the wall climb moments are specifically designed in order to prevent you from having a nice clean line to jump. Okay, all right, let's go back to normal. This is, I think we missed it. I think we went actually too fast. Okay. Because it's right through this door. Okay. Normal grab, throw, break the door, and then... Okay, no, never mind. It's the other run that does it. The other run glitches through that corner back there in order to, like, basically in order to terrain glitch into this room and skip going around and opening the door. It's one of those ones where it's like, all right, if it works quickly, like you could just tell watch it, you're like, all right, well, if that works quickly, it saves a couple seconds. If it doesn't work, then you end up somewhere in between, didn't save time, and actually just wasted time, you know, smashing yourself into a corner. All right, here's one of the here's an actual scale. Let's see if you can. So this is one of the things that they do. I don't know how to. I need to look up the specific kind of moves that they're doing, but basically they use a chain of moves to get height. This is the one that they use to glitch through walls, and also this where there we go. He got it. So basically just jump up onto the platform and skip the fight and a couple switches. It's not actually saving too much time, but it is technically saving time, especially if you get it fast. So that's a thing that would need to be learned, and as you can tell from like that guy needing to do it, or this person needing to do it, would it take 3-4 attempts in order to get it? It seems pretty tricky, and pretty specific, but you know that might be fun. I mean, it would be good, probably, for me to learn at least one game that has that kind of a dimension to stream, or not stream, or that kind of a dimension to it as part of the speed run, because Amy doesn't really have anything like that. This fight just goes as per normal. You just do the fight. A lot of the things in the game, one of the things that does help is a lot, like, it's all very predictable. Even down to QuickTime events on normal or on easy. QuickTime events on easy are the same every time. So, for example, you get him down, and it's always going to be these exact same motions. It's going to be, you know, square, hammer, hammer O, and yeah. So that helps. Now, there's one coming up here. This one here, I have tried this a bunch of times. Okay, all right, this person didn't do it. Let's go normal speed and see if they pull it off. So the other player does a thing where they do this all in one motion, where they actually, like, they jump, break the chain, and then grab the swinging point, and it is a lot harder than it looks. And I'm not sure the timing of it. So I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so that would be something to practice. All right, so we're gonna go back to. We're gonna speed up for a bit here, because cutscenes. So we're at 2x speed right now. Let's go 3x speed. Okay, so you get across the bridge. This is just as you would do it in game, if you weren't basically, as long as you weren't hunting for achievements and stuff. You just do the fight super quick. This is all normal. This is just how you do it. Pull the thing out. Hit the switch. Jump up. Hit the other switch. Jump on. Go up. Elevator fight is the way that it would look. Yeah, elevator fight, you just do it. They actually do this in the wrong order, which I'm just noticing now. Like, there's no point in going and hitting that switch until you can hit the other switch, because you got to turn the snakes and then burn her. So this player is actually making a decent number of mistakes. Regular fight, regular fight. All right, gonna bring it back down to normal just for a bit here. I'm trying to remember, I don't know, this is all normal. Yeah, this is the second place time out of 2, so why would Cleopatra? Why is Cleopatra in hell? Because Dante Alighieri was an asshole, and he wrote Bible fan fiction as a way to like slam all of his political opponents. So this is so Dante's Inferno, the game, is basically video game fan fiction about Bible fan fiction. Yeah. So you actually in this fight Antony. It's really easy, because you just hit him with suicide pomegranates a bunch of times and he dies. And that's it. This right here is probably the best worst moment in the game. So the actual fight with Cleopatra is just a QTE mini game. There's Dante actually like drops his weapon there. Also, we got a bunch of jiggle physics. You're gonna see some more jiggle physics. Yeah, so he dropped his weapon. Just keep in mind that he doesn't have it. All right, Dante gets the upper hand. Jiggle physics. And then QTE to thrust. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, he's got his scythe and stabs her. Just out of frame. Yeah. It's amazing. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't just... I lose it every time. Oh. Yeah. They should have sent a poet. This elevator segment's actually really funny because I was watching my old run of this game, and it reminded me of how bad this elevator bit is. Because so you just fight stuff, but then you want to be standing specifically here because so that rock falls and breaks off a chunk, then one lands kind of near it, but this one breaks off like the entire bottom half of the platform, which does not look like what it's going to break at all. And then you can't, if you get hit by that rock, so that rock that just hit, if it lands on top of you, you die, but otherwise, you know, you fall. It's one of those forced failures that's just really, really stupid and confusing. You must fail in the specific manner that it wants you to. This bit, again, is sort of a New Game Plus thing where it's like, all right, you have the health to essentially just YOLO through the fire. So you end up taking a whole bunch of damage as you go through this. So there you go. So there's kind of the trick with jumping and breaking the chain in one cycle rather than swinging, breaking it, swinging back, and getting it. And now he didn't bother to heal because he only took about half of his hit points. So really, for an easy playthrough, you've got, like, on New Game Plus, you've got more hit points than you would. If you're at half, you have more hit points than you would even have if you were playing a new game and you got to this boss. So it's fine. You've got more than enough to survive this boss, and you're not really going to take that much time on it. This boss, however, is actually like super annoying. You've got some mandatory hits that you're going to be taking because Cerberus is just super obnoxious. So you lure a head down, and then you hit it, and then, yeah, QTE, cut the head off. It's funny is that the other run doesn't even bother using the little flame pustules because you can actually just do so right there. That series of attacks that this player did is probably 3 times as much damage as you need to actually trigger the QTE on the head. They really don't have that much life, and when you're on new game, you've got just multiples of the damage that you would normally have at this point. So yeah, if he had lured the head down and then just hit it a couple times, it would have done he would have actually done more damage than using the fire pustule. So you get eaten, you blow Cerberus's head up. It's all very edgy, and we'll just speed up. All right, there's that slide jump. There's some specific positioning there in order to not get eaten by one of these worms. This room fight also is a little bit tricky actually to do quickly because you see you end up losing a lot of time if you have to lure those snakes back out, if you have to lure the worms back out, it obviously takes, you know, a bunch of time. Yeah. So the ideal way of doing that room is you stand in a specific position where all of the worms stay up after you land, and then you're able to AoE them all down at once instead of needing to lure them back out. Okay, going back to normal speed, because this next puzzle room, so let's see if he does it. Okay. So, alright, so that's an intentional death there. So they glitch through 2 walls in order to skip that fight with the glutton, and also the cutscene that comes after the fight with the glutton. And I don't think, yeah, that was an accidental death. But what they then do here, this is I think a really cool skip. They're using the same sort of height gaining techniques that they used before in order to skip the one thing, but they're going to use it instead of doing the maze. The other player did it differently. There we go. So instead of actually doing the maze, just jumping up and around the corner through the final portal so that you don't need to actually do the maze puzzle. So that's pretty cool. It looks challenging. I mean, clearly it's a pretty challenging jump to do. So one of the things that would be kind of mandatory would be to create specific saves at key problem areas, so that you can just chain practice those specific techniques. Yeah. I do really like how often in the run there's a surprisingly simple technique that they use in a lot of places where they need to jump from one vine to another, and they just make it into a really long fall. Like they don't aim for where you would normally aim, because you just end up grabbing onto the vine, much lower down than where you normally would. That grab right there is actually kind of really hard, even just in a normal playthrough. That one swing is obnoxious even at the best of times. Yeah. This area, so we're in Anger now, and Anger is, just looking at it on my screen in the 480p, unfortunately, I'm sorry that this recording is so bad, we're in Greed right now. But Greed and Anger are going to be just a endless field of brown. But there is a big skip coming in. There is a big skip coming up that's really cool. This is all. Let's just go 1.5 in case I miss anything. So what they were planning for actually Dante's Inferno 2 and 3, so for Purgatory and Paradise, they set it up at the end of this game where Dante pulls his cross off and throws it on the ground, and it turns into a snake and slithers away. So the whole thing that they're setting up at the end of this is that basically heaven's a lie. So that's going to be kind of their justification for why are you fighting literally anything in Purgatory and Paradise? And so yeah, so it basically would have turned into Bayonetta is where it would have gone. Yeah, Bayonetta, yeah. It would have been Bayonetta, but worse. This would need a bunch of practice because this puzzle, the timing on this, even like in a casual play, the timing on this is so obnoxious. I actually wound up needing to use Northern Cross. Like I needed to use one of the magical abilities basically to get through it in time. It was really obnoxious. This is also being done more or less as intended. Well, minus that. Yeah, you shouldn't fall down here. So I don't know if I'd call that run ending. I mean, it's not, but it wastes a decent amount of time. So obviously you want to complete this jumping puzzle in one go. The timing on it though is really super sketch. A lot of things in this game, they went with like just really demanding timing on a lot of stuff. And yeah, we're still at 1.5 speed. I'm trying. I think this we'll go up to 2. Get through this. Basically, just use spells to burn down this guy, and then stomp on everything until the QTE indicator pops up on the door. There we go. Open the door, jump through. This is all normal. That jump is obnoxious even in a normal play, playthrough, because one of the big problems with Dante's Inferno is the camera is really bad at giving you a proper sense of like depth. So if you need to like land on specific points, like the camera really likes to be low to the ground and show you and be very forward facing, which, I mean, okay, it helps show off the environment, but it really doesn't play well with the fact that there's so many jumps that require you to land on very narrow spaces in depth. That's a cool skip right there. So here, let's go back to that and actually and one more step back. Okay, so you're supposed to jump down and do a fight and a puzzle. But so the skip is actually just to jump straight across to the destination, and you need to do another height gaining attack in order to get the last little bit over onto the platform. So that's a deceptive little moment there that actually skips like a couple minutes of puzzle and fight. I'm trying to remember this. I think this is probably all as per normal. Fight. And then this is a really simplistic puzzle that, I mean, you just do it correct the first time. It's not hard. It actually barely qualifies as a puzzle, really. Okay, so here, this is interesting. All right. This is probably the big skip in the game. So jam yourself into this corner and do a whole bunch of height gaining attacks in a row, and it'll take a bit to get up to the right height in order to... Actually, I don't remember if this person fails it a couple times or not. Oh, there we go. Got it. So fall through the terrain, and then... Yeah, so there was a failure. So I'm intrigued by this one. This one looks hard. This one looks really hard, but I kind of want to learn something really hard. So I think it takes a couple attempts for them to get it, but it's obvious like they gain their height a lot faster the second time around, and then there we go, out of bounds, and there. So land in the correct spot. And I think they got it on that one. There you go. So essentially what, so that's a, what are those skips where, that's an out of bounds where you're looking to, they just skipped a huge chunk of the level there. And so what that is an out of bounds is you basically, you need to fall through and then die in a specific place so that you're technically dying, in a different zone, like inside a different area, so that it sends you to the checkpoint. It sends you back to the checkpoint for the place that you died in, rather than the last checkpoint that you were actually at. But so that right there is the challenge. Like, that one's a pretty challenging one to learn. But it skipped literally half of like the entire back half of Greed, like including the boss fight. So So there's some pros and cons. I don't know. There's some pros and cons to this run. There's a lot of it that's actually, I don't know, kind of boring. It's not the most consistently interesting run, but there's some really good moments in it, like that out of bounds skip. And an out of bounds skip is something that All right, so for my purposes, this has a couple of the kinds of things that I would like to try to learn. So like the out of bounds skips, the like height gaining techniques, using combo chains and whatnot. And yeah, so anger I don't really remember what they do in anger. Anger is such a short level even as is. Actually went the wrong way. That's an easy mistake to make. This path, I mean, I'm sure this looks almost completely illegible on the Twitch side of things. This level is really hard to read, even even just playing the game normally. The first time I ever played, actually, it was at that spot where he went the wrong way. I was stuck there for quite a while in my actual first playthrough, because it's really hard to see that climbable wall in fact goes down. Like, it goes around the corner, but it also goes down, because you can see around the corner because there's the thing guiding your line of vision. But the place that you actually want to go is down at the corner, and it's, yeah. So the climbable texture in this zone looks the same as the regular walls. It's pretty bad. This is really where you're getting into the chunk of the game that was clearly just sort of barely finished. A lot of gluttony also as well. I mean, how much of gluttony do you even remember? And we just watched it like 5 minutes ago. So this is kind of I like this, where it's like they skip the front half of the puzzle by just using invulnerability power. And it also lets you blow through a huge chunk, basically as long as it lasts. You then don't need to deal with these guys who explode, or you can deal with the exploding minions while the platform is rising. So it's like, all right, deal with them now, more or less. But then, I mean, you can't do the entire climb with it, so you eventually do need to start. There you go. Oh, wrong way, dude. Wrong way. We gotta speed up. Boring cutscene, which leads into Auto-scroller. Functionally auto-scroller where you just ride this guy. The camera wobble is severely enhanced by going at 3 times speed. Fighting, Beatrice cutscene. She's got her her vagina dentata outfit on. More fight. More fight. Basically, you fight until the gate opens. And then you get here, and then you do it again. You fight some more until the gate opens. Or wait, no, this one he smashes the thing. Yeah. Anyway, you fight. Alright, there's one smash. There you go. Second smash. Platform falls down, hit the switch, ride up. Skip the cutscene into the boss riding segment through the city of Dis. City of Dis. The Iron City of Dis. Jump, skip cutscene. This is all just normal. Fight. Jump before the spikes can come out. This is, however, also another segment where you just power through and take a whole bunch of damage. Fight the heretics. So here's your heretical wizards and co. This is a puzzle straight out of God of War 2. Like, it's just, it's lifted straight from God of War 2. Also, it's kind of terrible, like, in the game itself, where it's just like, all right, you go through, and then you do this backtracking, but there's nothing interesting about the backtracking. There's only a couple fights even on the way back, and it's quite a long way to backtrack, but there's it's a bad use of backtracking. That's all normal, aside from some really just tight jumps, like tight timing on some of the jumps. Tight jumping puzzle, all normal. Here's a really obnoxious... Alright, we're going to go through this one at normal speed, just because of how stupid it is. So the whole thing with this puzzle is that you need to wind up this Minotaur statue to full... 3 or 4 times. And have it keep chopping at the wall. Yeah, 3 times. It's just kind of oblique. It doesn't really communicate itself very well if you're coming through it new. There's another there's a great long drop. Just grabbing the thing at sort of the end. All right, the Phlegathon. Trying to remember if anything changes here in the Phlegathon. I think the Phlegathon... Phleg as in blood, as in phlebotomy. If you get your blood taken, it will likely be done by a phlebotomist. That is their name. That is the name of the people who take your blood. It's phlebotomist. Let's speed this up. Phlegathon's boring. Skip to the second side. Alright, 2 demons pop up. You fight them. You don't want to do... You actually really, really don't want to do that second QTE, or that QTE that pops up on those ones in specific, because those guys, the flying demons, have a dual layer QTE. The first one only cuts off their wings, so you might think it's a quick kill, but it's not. It's actually a very slow kill. Alright, there's a good skip here in the Suicide Forest. So the whole thing with the Suicide Forest is basically you go kind of this long way around in order to push down a thing. Oh, maybe this player, maybe it was the other one that did it. Or is it just not yet? It's been a few days since I watched all of these. They're kind of blurring together. Oh, hey! Hey, H-Bomb. No, this is one of my... I'm just using one of my older cameras. You can see it's nice. It's got some great interlaced combing. OBS really loves this camera. All right, here you go. So this skips if they get it. If they get it. Any minute now. We are at there we go. There we go. A nice out of bounds there. I like that out of bounds, and you can see the sand. And it looks like it's also got some really careful navigation. Like once you're out of bounds, you got to go carefully to the correct spot, and then same as previous, you take an intentional death, and then it should respawn at the beginning. Yeah. So then you're halfway through the next area. So that skips the boss of the Suicide Woods. So it's the entire back half of the Suicide Woods and the boss fight, and then getting out. So that's a pretty substantial skip, and it's a cool one. So I like that one. I like that. Yeah, and I guess not only does it skip the boss, it also subskip, like, so in skipping the boss, because you're skipping, so Dante's mom is in hell because of suicide, hence why she's in the Suicide Woods, and so if you don't skip that fight, there is a really, really long cutscene attached to it. Like the whole conversation between Dante and his mom is probably just like 2 minutes in and of itself. Yeah. And so they use that's actually really funny. Yeah, his dad is the boss of greed. So that's actually the really funny thing, is that in this run, you use out-of-bounds skips to bypass both of Dante's parents. In fact, I think they've, like, so far at this point, they've only done 2 bosses. They did, King, they did King Minos. They did Cerberus. Did they do? Because then they skip Dante's dad in greed. There is no boss in anger. They skip Dante's mom in violence. They do end up doing this next boss, though. Oh, yeah, Cleopatra. Right, Cleopatra in Lust. They did Cleo. And I guess Charon is technically a boss fight, too. Charon doesn't really count, because Charon's not, like, Charon's just a monster room. I don't count Charon as a boss. Charon's not a boss. You don't fight Charon. You do a monster room, and then you have a monster, like, rip his head off. It doesn't count. How could I forget nipple babies? It's one of those things. This game is really poorly laid out. I mean, part of that's just because they've got, like, you know, they have the source material to adhere to. But yeah, the game's kind of really poorly laid out. And so it can be hard to remember it in the correct order sometimes. And yeah, now you fight your brother-in-law. Who's full of swords.
Why has he forsaken us? In the name of God? Murder is only in the name of the murderer. Redeem yourself. Brother, use my soul wisely.
Don't forget the nipple babies.
Sister.
I love how heretical this game is. Like, Dante's just going around, like, absolving all of these people. It's like, nah, man, you can't do that. You don't get to do that. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. One of the great / super annoying parts of the run is that the suicide fruit, the suicide pomegranate, like, you end up using it so much, and so when you're actually like doing the run, you end up hearing that screaming sound effect so much. It's really funny. It's also kind of annoying. How does absolving work if heaven is a scam? Well, and this is the great thing, is that at like the end of the game, he's actually just been like storing all of these people's souls inside of him. It's weird. It doesn't. Yeah. But here we go. We've got corrupted Beatrice, and she's on fire now.
I do not wish to see you suffer, but you leave me little choice.
I am not what you think I am.
There cannot be a rival. Lucifer forbids it.
You don't have to obey him. Come back to
Wait, did I use it as often as possible in my regular run? I don't remember. Did I? I mean, it's really powerful. It's a suit. Yeah. No, now that I think about it, but you don't get it. You don't get it until the Suicide Forest. So you only have it for a little less than half the game.
Is eternal resting place.
These guys are really annoying to fight. They're just a super obnoxious fight. All right, let's go. Let's go 2 times. Hop jump, because right now, so after fighting your brother-in-law, you get the 10. Oh, you get your challenge rooms. Hey, here you go. 10 challenge rooms. Joy. Arena Gauntlet. So, Panderers and Seducers. Do they glitch through any of these? I don't think so. It's really funny, though, this first one. It's like infinite magic when you're in a run where you've already been spamming Suicide Fruit the whole time. It's just like, alright, LOL. Finish it in time with infinite magic. And it's like, okay. Like, that one's so easy to get, even in a casual run, because it's just like... Infinite magic is literally the fastest way to kill anything in the game. Or magic is already the fastest way to kill everything in the game. So, just like, alright, here you go. Infinite magic. See if you can beat this quickly. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, I can. So 100 hit combos. You just spam the what's it called? Cross of Oh, he screwed it up. Oh, I didn't even realize that. He just got pushed. Yeah, he got pushed and screwed up. So you just spam one of your magical attacks a whole bunch of times, and that racks it up, and then you do ranged attacks until you get it. And if you don't get your combo broken, then it's super easy. It's actually really easy. That guy screwed it up. This guy's a failure. We can beat this guy's time. Didn't I miss that jump like 8 times? Oh yeah, something like that. There's a lot of really stupid stuff in here. And then this one's, I think, 5 air kills. You want to avoid the soldiers, because you can't knock them up into the air, so you just focus on the satyrs. All right. Sorcerers.
Did you think I'd come back to you after what you've done?
Oh, that's actually a really cool way of doing it. Okay, so that one you need to stay in the air for a certain number of seconds. And the normal way that, or the way that you'll typically get it is by knocking something up into the air, like doing a knock-up attack, attacking it in the air, and then just like holding yourself up there. I have no idea why they don't just use their usual like height gaining strategy. But yeah, so the way that he did it was just to knock something down into its takedown animation, because when Dante jumps on its back to do the takedown, it counts as him being in the air. So really simple, actually. That gets you a whole bunch of seconds right away. This one is super easy. It's long. You just protect these two people for, it's like 2 minutes or something like that. It's really dumb, but you know, you got the cross attack, and so you just stand at the back and spam the cross attack. Yeah, the height gaining strategy looks like it's collision dependent. Probably. That is likely it.
You're right at home with the hypocrites, Dante, in this sixth ditch.
This was actually really dumb. It's pre-scripted, so you get to this point, and this guy, like, it changes. It's really dumb. But so this guy comes out, and yeah, and then it changes the challenge criteria. It's like challenge canceled, new challenge escape, and it's like, all right, whatever.
Eternally bound in snakes, the thieves suffer below.
Thieves is, which one's thieves? Losing health. Yeah, your health is slowly draining, but just spam magic and kill everything and win. Also, so many of your abilities, like when you've got all of the stuff that you do in this run, so many of your abilities are regaining you health that it's actually just really, really funny and almost impossible to die. Also, you kill everything just so fast anyway, just by spamming suicide pomegranates, suicide fruit. Kill everything without blocking, again, is just hilarious, because it's like, you're playing on casual difficulty. You don't need to block at all, ever, anyway. I haven't seen this person use a block attack at all, ever, in the entire run.
The worst of the frauds, those who seed evil and discord amongst those they should trust.
Oh, if you think that jump over flame was necessary, just wait. There's a bunch more pointless jumps over flame. Kill everything in a single combo. Easy, because you just spam cross attack.
The fan ditch. Below are the fakes.
And here's the last one, which now you don't need to jump across one flame thing. You need to jump across two. And then, yeah, this is just a 5-minute fight. And because it's an endurance test, like it does not matter what you do. Like, cause you're going on the clock, so you can't even you can't finish it early. It just keeps throwing things at you. It just cycles, even if you get through. Yeah. Or wait, no, you have to kill everything in less than 5. So you just kill everything. You just kill everything. Sorry, I was thinking of a different one. Now you just kill everything. You just kill it fast. It was a different game that had a mandatory 5-minute fight. It was a different God of War clone. Which one was it? One of the other God of War clones had a 5-minute fight, just like that, except you have to fight it for the whole 5 minutes.
I don't understand. Your redemption is near. Wait. I have to take care of her. I have come this far.
I don't know why I, slowed it back down. Okay. Get into the mail bulge. You don't actually need to wait for that, I don't think. This is obnoxious because this giant will start doing that. But, yeah. Treachery. I was actually really hoping that they had a trick for getting across treachery that wasn't just know the path. I mean, it's an easy path to memorize. I mean, heck, even in my replay, I still just remembered a solid 75% of the path. Also, you can kind of see it. You can see it in the ice. You can kind of see it in the ice. So it was pretty funny. So there's not quite as many skips as I was hoping. But yeah. And then I don't know, let's just go normal speed for Devil Dong. You break this chain. You break this big ass chain. You break it. And then Satan's like, LOL, sucker. I tricked you into breaking my chains. Rawr, I'm the devil. Now, personally, when I was trying it, I just burnt invincibility. Like, yeah, so I used this power way, way, way earlier, so that like I don't even see the tornadoes. Like, I just plow right through this.
You are the best, Dante. Many have tried and many have failed. Brave Ulysses, the great Alexander, Attila,
All right,
Lancelot,
here it comes. All right,
so black enough to free me.
pull open your stomach portal and extremely low res devil dong. There it is. It just looks like a blurry smudge in 480p. But
Her soul is free now. Only you and I remain. Come for me, holy warrior.
all right.
Fulfill your destiny.
Fulfill your destiny. And then yeah, you just burn your remaining invincibility, knock him into I actually found that if you can get the positioning right, there's one of your other abilities you can use that burns through this like way faster, way faster. Oh, you can see it, like, even when we're looking at it from behind, like, even when the camera is behind Satan, who is the devil, whenever he adopts his wide stance, you got his big old pendulous balls just hanging right there.
You, the flawed creation, and I was to bow down to you. My gratitude for breaking the chains of Judea. You don't. Behold your ruins, and witness my escape into the kingdom of purgatory.
Does it also have jiggle physics? Yes. Yes, it does. This one also goes way faster if you just use your cross spell. And then last phase lifts up these things. Last phase is actually really easy. You just spam R1. And then quick QTE. Left, right, spam. On mine, it's gonna be square, spam circle, and time. And that's it. That's actually it. That's actually it. And then the devil's like, "Wahahaha! uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And Dante's like, yeah, well, I've got all these souls that I stole. And by all of these souls, I mean, like, 30. And even though you've been the devil for all eternity, I got these like 30 souls, and that's like way too many for you, man. And then we get Dante's ass, and a little bit more Beatrice nip, and more ass, and more ass, and some more ass, and then an asp. To be continued. No, it's not. So that's Dante, and so that's the speed run. That's Dante and Dante's Inferno as a speed run. So there's a couple things in there that I think would be a really good challenge. In particular, the height gaining technique, the out of bounds stuff. I think that's really cool. I think that would be cool to learn, cool to work out. Yeah. I'm interested in it. What are your thoughts? So people who have been with me for Speedrun Learning Curve for a while now. What do you think about it? I mean, let's actually approach this one let's ignore GDQ as a goal, ignore GDQ as a possibility. Just like, what do you see as the pros and cons in this one? Are you worried at all about the leaderboard managers being completely inactive? No, not particularly. Leaderboards are not something. It'd be cool if they are active and we could submit. But it's not something that really terribly worries me. That's not a high priority for me. And just gonna report and close and ban. There we go. The nudity would be a big one for public showing. Yeah, I'm not... yeah, it looks like there may be more room for out-of-bounds skips, so could probably play with for a while. Yeah, there is a lot of do what the game expects. Like there is... I'm not going to lie. There is a substantial chunk of this that's basically just... play the game, and because it's not even like play the game in a using specific kind of techniques, or I guess it is play the game using a specific kind of technique, but that technique is just like spam end game magical abilities and one shot half the things because you're playing on the easiest difficulty. So I mean, like that's a downside of it. That is a downside of it. So it sits. It sits in a couple different spaces for me. I really like a couple of the techniques that are at play in this. But then there's a bunch of other stuff that's kind of like, kind of middling. I'm okay with that, though, in the sense that, like, I'm not really looking at this one, like, super seriously. Like, this is not one that I'm thinking of like okay, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the one that we're really gonna like work on and like hammer, nail down and refine. So, I mean, so in that, maybe just maybe it is also kind of a thing about prep some save games, and rather than actually trying to create maybe work towards creating a full run, but that then is our sort of end goal with Dante's Inferno. Is starting off, it's going through and like learning the specific localized techniques before even trying to create a full run, and then sort of as the culmination of Dante's Inferno as speedrun learning curve is working towards like, all right, actually having a not a full run presentation in the same way that like a presentation was our end goal with Amy. Our end goal with Dante's Inferno would be just like, okay, learning a complex run and having one that has a like, submission worthy time. So the amount of the video you fast forwarded through should tell you all you need to know with regard to this game being a bad speed game or bad to watch. Anyway, yeah, like that is valid. That, I mean, I am considering these sort of things. And again, I wouldn't really want to go for. I wouldn't go for broke on this one. Not at all. Not at all. And, yeah, like getting second place, sure, why not? Like getting even just having a like submissible third place run that isn't that's like, all right, it's not like, okay, hour 45 for the best, hour 52 for second place, 2 hours 30 for third place. As long as it's not that, kind of a gap, that is like, all right. I mean, I'm fine with third. So I don't know. Those are some of my thoughts about this. I do, at the very least, I do want to spend some time trying that, like on stream, trying to figure out that out of bounds skip. Learning that and then pulling it off. I think that would be an interesting process to go through. And then also another, probably, I don't know, looking for another candidate. X-Men Destiny as a candidate. I did some testing with it. It's bad. It's not a good candidate. The geometry, at least with what I was trying, it would take a lot of testing. You would really need like a whole group of people actually working on X-Men Destiny to find its breaking points. But just on my own, the geometry proved to be surprisingly durable and solid. And also the level layouts don't really loop in any sort of way where it would even be like all that valuable. So our only other candidate kind of at the moment off of the shelf is Blood on the Sand, and I wouldn't be too opposed. I haven't watched the Blood on the Sand runs yet, so I'm going to check them out on my own. And if they are interesting enough in their own right, similar to this, that it's like, okay, if there are things that get my attention in it, then maybe we'll do another one of these where it's like go through, commentary on it, make notes on it, kind of look for the stuff that does seem appealing about it from a learning perspective. Or maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll just make one of the projects like learning Link to the Past. You know, something that is really competitive. You know, that's like, all right, we're not coming at this with any intent of like competitive, but because it is such a well-worn thing, that it would be a good place to go through and like actually like you'd be learning from notes, like from actual like, hey, here's the run, rather than you know, whatever. Yeah. So Ocarina of Time has a wealth of documented material. So does Majora's Mask. Problems there. I would need to get it on like Wii Virtual Console, I guess. I don't have the better controller for the Wii. I don't have a GameCube controller. Like, so I don't have a GameCube controller that I can use on the Wii. And also the 3D Zeldas kind of suck. So, yeah, the 3D Zeldas kind of suck. They're not actually that fun to speedrun. They look really impressive, but I mean they're like really obnoxious. I don't actually like them. I don't. Yeah. Hot take. The 3D, the non. Yeah. The non-Wind Waker, Zeldas, the non-Wind Waker 3D Zeldas are yeah. Yeah. I'm not nearly as big of a fan of Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild as people are. I get why people love them. I don't particularly like those two. Majora's Mask is better anyway than Ocarina of Time. That one's not too hot of a take. A lot of people realize that one is in fact true. That Majora's Mask is the superior one. And yeah. But I do have a copy of Link to the Past. So I have a copy of Link to the Past. I have that here. What have I got? I've got Link to the Past and I have Link's Awakening. But the Link's Awakening, actually, I tried the Link's Awakening run after watching the Link's Awakening run on GDQ a while back. Last AGDQ, or maybe it was SGDQ. I think it was 2 AGDQs ago at this point, so 2017 at this point. But yeah, it was really, really obnoxious. The sort of specificity of that one, and so I gave up on that really fast. Yeah. There was a lot of weird stuff in that run. Battle for the Pacific is short. Clickety click. I'm trying to think of what else I have to say tonight, or what else I want to do tonight. I'm trying to decide if I want to throw Dante's Inferno in right now, or if I don't. I'm actually kind of tired and headachy, and concentrating is getting to be a bit is getting to be a bit difficult. The shelf, yeah, the stack doesn't really have a whole lot that's actually like good for this. Weirdly, weirdly, just due to its many numerous glitches, I'm willing to bet that Dog Days would actually have a bunch of stuff in it, but Dog Days is dog crap. And also just as many of the glitches that would probably help you get through the game quickly would be glitches that would hard lock your game and end your run. So no, yeah. So finish Kane and Lynch. God, Kane and Lynch is so bad. It's so bad. It's really, really, really annoying. Really, really bad. Army of Two. I don't have a copy. Oh, I grabbed a couple things last time I was out, but I don't have Army of Two yet. I actually saw all of the Army of Two stuff at the store, but didn't grab them. I grabbed a couple other things. Owls, no. MIB. Alien Crisis would be legitimately painful because since it's a rail shooter. Oh hey, I just realized compatible with the Top Shot Elite. That's the same gun as Cabela's. That's the gun. That's the Cabela's gun that has that. Hey, you remember that? It's got the red lens in it for hunter mode. Who remembers? Everybody, yeah, Top Shot Elite game controls. It's got the scope. It's got the scope with the red lens. You can. Run Cabela's with a scope. Oh, man. Piss drinker speedrun. What was it? Kane and Lynch 2 record is 52 minutes. 52 minutes. Now, Beowulf, we're only halfway through Beowulf. Beowulf would be super obnoxious. The number one runner on the Human and Navi story for James Cameron is the same guy. He's the only runner. Wait, of what? 4 hours for the 2 Human speed run. And then Avatar also has a speed run, but it's the same person as 2 Human. Am I reading that correctly? Oh, I should note, Frontline Caster. I should note that with Beowulf, with Wolf is Bay. We are actually no longer in the bog. Because I wanted some footage from the earlier part of the game, and Beowulf only has 1 safe slot. So we are now no longer at the start of the bog, or we are now no longer halfway through the bog. We are now back at the very, 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 very beginning of the bog. We are right. We are back at the part where Beowulf is made king. Because there's only 1 save slot. There is only 1 save slot. You didn't back it. I'm not going to go through the hassle. I am not going to go through the hassle of backing up my save for Beowulf. Like, yeah. So gotta go rescue the village of virgins again. I mean, it's actually honestly not that much that needs to be done. It's just, yeah, it's basically just rescuing the village of virgins. Also, once you know where you're going, the game actually does speed up substantially when you once you know what you're doing, because a lot of the playtime is spent trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. What's your criteria for choosing a game to speedrun? I don't really have a criteria. I'm still actually trying to figure out my criteria. Largely, I'm looking for something that has an interesting mix of stuff that looks like it would be interesting to learn, like instructive to learn, and would be interesting and not too painful to actually play. Yeah, isn't itself just dull. Yeah, interesting breaks. The PS3 let you copy in the XMB menu. Yeah, it does, but you need to find a flash drive, and you need to put it in, and you need to go through the whole copy process, and then you need to undo it afterwards. And it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. It's actually, I mean, it's descriptively quite simple, but it's in practice just a lot more of a hassle. It's a lot more of a hassle than, never playing Beowulf again, which is, I mean, that's kind of actually almost what we're weighing it against. Is on one hand, we could get this footage at the beginning of Beowulf and then never play Beowulf again. On the other hand, we could have a save game preserved, a game we're probably actually never going to play again. Yeah. So I do think a couple of the things that I picked up recently might be promising. We'll see if they pop up if they win the coin flip tournament on Monday. Maybe Emperor's New Groove. You never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Emperor's New Groove might be one. We will see when we see it. We will think about it when we see it. And, yeah. My brain's getting foggy. I need something to drink, and I'm kind of snacky. Oh, right. Oh, they never saw... Here, let me see... I wonder if I can get it working. Let me see if I can get it working real quick. Where is that input cable? Okay. Input cable goes here. And then we just turn that on. And then... Oh, I'm in the wrong... That should be popping up. Why is that not? Huh. Why is that not? Component HDMI. Actually, okay, one sec. I can do it. I'll do it the hard way. Be right back. All right. just let me... Oh, dang it. I didn't take care of that beforehand, did it? Oh, it worked sort of anyway. And... Great hours one afternoon instead of stabbing minor Borgias in the neck. Fantasy. And zippity-zoo. I have no idea why that's scaling the way that it is, but it is. So we'll just fix it. All right. Oh, I'm like, why is it going? We still had it set to like 4 times speed. Okay. There we go. Hello, Amy. This is not actually the important footage, but it was on the it's on the card anyway. So we might as well watch it. Hello, Amy. Oh, it's Amy.
The kingdom of the Danes lies under heavy shadows. Your kingdom, Lord.
King of the Danes. Me?
So yeah, you wake up, and Beowulf is like, he's super confused over being king, and
Beowulf, Lord.
everyone's like, King Beowulf. And he's just like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, King Beowulf? And no one explains it to him. And he's just like, all right, you're king now. What? Huh? What? I'm king?
The darkness grows over your kingdom, Lord of the Danes. Look!
My kingdom?
The innocent people.
And like, it's great. My kingdom? And it's like, no
Your
one...
advisors await their orders in the mead hall.
So-
If you will, sire. Come back when you're ready.
My kingdom?
Winter continues without cease, and the people starve, Lord Beowulf. I wonder, where might that royal horn you love so much be? Your silence speaks loudly, King. Let us hope you can win the favor of the Danes, then, if mine is of no value to you.
This just makes no sense. Alright, and now we go talk with Gleason, who sounds like literally every line is his first time seeing these words.
Well, the Danes are a good people and have stout hearts.
Who does he care
They will
for?
serve you willingly if you
Himself
seek
or the
honor.
Danes?
Shall we prepare for battle once again? The Danes are watching you, Lord.
Our fate is
Use your
in his
power
hand.
wisely.
He totally sounds like he's just practicing to himself. And Unferth, for whatever reason, however possible,
Earth has got just what the healer ordered. Show no pity.
John Malkovich, however,
I was right.
he did it. Managed to escape having to do
But whose
his voice work for the
character
game.
remains to be seen.
And where will your ambition take you this time, oh bloodletting battle lord? Your destiny awaits, sire.
And there you go. No one explains. No one explains what's going on. No one tells him. No one's like, "Hey, Beowulf. Yeah, man. Here's what's happening." Okay. Everyone's asking if Shaq Fu has arrived. Trust me on this. When Shaq Fu has arrived, you will know. You will know. You will know when Shaq Fu is here. When I know Shaq Fu is here, you will know Shaq Fu has arrived. So the answer is no. It hasn't arrived yet. I was really, really hoping it would be here yesterday, today, 2 days ago, a week ago. So any day now. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's kind of us. That's us. That's us for Speedrun Learning Curve for this week. I think, watch through and critique of a Dante's Inferno speedrun. I think that's a good thing. That was helpful. That was valuable. I hope that was valuable. To go through and do a pre-analysis of the speedrun before even attempting it. But yeah, if we do try it, I have primed a save, and yeah. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks everybody for coming out and hanging out, and thank you for your feedback and your input, and thank you, clap. Everybody give the thanks to Sword Squad for their work. I forgot to credit the runner because I completely forgot their name, and I should have done that, and I'm going to look that up right now. Seafox 7. That was the Dante's Inferno run. Any percent NG plus classic world record 1 hour 58 minutes 40 seconds by Seafox 7, and Fox has 2 X's. And yeah. Yes. There we go. I should have done that way earlier. I feel bad. Because I was thinking about that the whole way through. But yes. Thanks everybody for coming out. I'm going to sign off now. Thanks. Thank you. Stop streaming. Click button.